Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. You know, unintentionally, I found this scene between Audra and Sally kind of hilarious. In a bad way, but kind of hilarious. So, Audra starts trying to give Sally advice because, she's still very torn about the whole breakup and everything with Adam. She knows that Adam is wrong for him, but it's not something that she can just get over right away. And I'm telling you, part of the reason why this scene is so funny is not because this is like the worst type of advice you want to give to anyone, and you would honestly think that no one in their right mind would sit there and dispense this level of foolishness. But because there actually are some women, are some people in general, and men that will sit there and give this level of foolish advice. Okay? She tells her to fake it till you make it. Okay, so in reality, you're basically sitting there telling her to suppress her emotions until she pushes them down so far that she can't push them down anymore, and then they just start exploding. Like, seriously? The idea, I mean, I get it. You gotta sit there and deal with that L, and it sucks. But trying to deny the pain that's there is just going to make it worse. This is the problem, in a sense, with women like Audra. Okay? They look like tens, they get whatever they want to an extent. But they don't necessarily get their happy ending because they are. I don't want to sit there and put this. Some people are just self sabotaging. That's exactly what she is. Okay? She talks about revenge and how revenge can be so fun and it can be so sweet and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, this is part of the reason why in the beginning I used to really like her. Not just because she was hot and everything like that, but because she was interesting. But then I started to just kind of be annoyed with her because of her immature personality. Like, if you're sitting there giddy about trying to get over on someone and like really proud to sit there and rub it in someone's face, that's not attractive. Okay. Um. Yeah, that's just not attractive. And after a while, that shit gets pretty old, and they just become very toxic people. Okay. When I sit there and when I say toxic people, I say this with experience. Okay. Yes, there was a point when I was young and dumb, and pretty much, how do I sit there and say, let my joystick lead me. Okay. I don't know if I should sit there and probably save this for the members only, but let's just sit there and say, way back in the day, sit there and hang out with this woman who was bad. She was toxic as toxic to her and to me. It led me down a very kind of bad path, I'll sit there and say. And so when I look at women like Audra, I'm like, yeah, I know your type because I've been with her type. And although everything is all good looks wise. And I'm not trying to downplay this person or sit there and say they were just terrible, but they made terrible decisions. And I went right along for the ride because, yeah. Um, Now let's get into Billy and Adam. Billy, like I said, Billy could be a great person, an amazing person when he gets out of his own way. The problem with Billy is his pride, right? So he walks up to Adam. He's all like, oh, "What did you do to Chelsea? What did you do to her?" And Adam's like, "The way you've been sitting there treating her, you don't get the right to sit there and walk in here and start playing knight in shiny armor. You don't get to do that, okay? So why don't you sit there and kick rocks, pretty much?" So they're going back and forth for a little bit, and at this point, Adam pretty much just kind of had enough, so he starts to walk away. Billy decides to put his hands on him, like, "I'm not done with you." So Adam hits him. He goes flying. Okay? This motherfucker must have super strength or something. Right? Now, Phyllis sees this whole thing or whatever, and she tries to de escalate the situation, but after he hit him, that was pretty much about it. So then Billy starts grabbing him and everything like that, and at that point, Phyllis just kind of breaks it up, and, they go back to the office. Now, Billy's like, on one hand, I'm glad you did that, because, I probably would have made the situation worse. On the other hand, I wish you didn't do it because, well, I mean, let's be honest. No one likes to sit there and lose or lose last or whatever. But, he talks about Chelsea. And, Phil's like, it's clear that you could possibly get over him, if you get out your own way. But it's once is bad. Twice? Come on. I mean, at this point, it's like, if she does something like that again, then what? We're going to take it back a third? It's like, how many times is too many? That's the thing. Me, be once and you're done. Twice? Come on. He keeps saying it's Adam, but in reality, there's clearly a lack of disrespect for her to sit there and do that twice. Now, granted, people sit there, she keeps saying, well, she was in a lot of pain and she wanted the pain go away because of her child. You're a parent. And maybe on some level, maybe he can understand. Maybe if he put himself in that situation, him being a parent, he would understand on that level. Yeah. Adam, clearly, no. But this simple fact of pain, everyone can respond to pain to some level. And you couple that by the fact that he's a parent, yeah. But also his pride. It's his pride that's driving. You know, I'm gonna sit there and title this thing kind of pride with him. You know? Um, Now, Victoria's sitting there talking to Cole. She's weighing her options. Should she sit there and tell? Should she sit there and not tell? And I saw somebody in the comment section was like, "See, this is what happens with Victoria. She's never loyal to her family." And I'm like, in this situation, it's a little bit different because technically Billy is her family by proxy of his kids, their kids. So she wants to sit there and shield the kids from seeing their dad get humiliated. So she is thinking about her family. The thing about Victoria that's interesting is when I started watching this, I called her the Ice Princess. And in some ways she is, but she's not fully the Ice Princess. She does care. When she loves all the way. And while I felt like it was out of pocket when I first started watching it, she kicked her own brother out the wedding, which is Nick. Um, just for anyone who just didn't know about that, but she loves the kids. You sit there and say what you want about the way she treats Adam, whatever. Choices of men, whatever. She loves her kids. And so when she was sitting there talking to Cole, Cole's like, listen, I know you're kind of going back and forth about this, but, mother's instincts is never wrong. So she goes to Billy, she gives him a proposition saying, hey, listen, I can't sit there and tell you what he knows or anything like that, but we can buy you out and we can sit there and start, you can start something new. And while Victor and Phyllis is like, Victor and Nikki's like, you can't sit there and keep bailing them out. It's a little bit different when you have kids, you know? And this isn't really so much to save Billy's ass, his reputation or anything like that. This is literally for her kids or for their kids. But, in some ways, I understand where Billy's coming from because Billy's like, no, listen, this isn't about the money. This isn't about me even starting over again. This is about me dealing with a bully. And I'm not going to sit there and be intimidated. I'm not going to do that. This is, granted, he keeps on saying, this is for my mother and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't think that she's really about her not getting her name on the business or whatever. But I would sit there and say that he's definitely a good motivator speech, motivator as far as like, speeches and stuff like that. Because he fired up Phyllis, and Phyllis was like, yeah, I'm in 100%. Let's do it. The problem is he's good at the initial part. It's the follow through that's something that people have said that he's always been shaky about. Um, Now I'm going to be honest. Chelsea and Summer, that's the scene you can generally skip because she doesn't really get into why she's so upset, why she's so sad, or anything like that. She doesn't. She just says that, they broke up and that she screwed up or whatever. And Summer's like, well, Billy has screwed up, times before too. But I think if she knew that whole story, she'd be like, oh, wow. Um, her whole tone and her whole energy would sit there and change if she knew what she did. Um, she vaguely talks around it, which is kind of annoying up until Adam shows up. And then Adam tries to talk to her, and she still is like, no, we're not even going to she's like, at this point, we're not even going to entertain that idea that you can have something for me, it is kind of out of pocket. Like, bro, you literally just ended things with Sally. See, this is the thing about Adam in this situation that just piles on the scumbaggerish. And that's not a word, but I'm going to make it a word. Not only did you sit there and lie to this woman's face for a while, all right, but even when the truth came out, for the most part, without Billy actually saying, you still sat there and lied to her. You didn't trust her. You didn't value her as a human being to even be decent enough to tell the truth. Okay? Then you want to sit there and start declaring this, I want to get you back, I want to win you back. But then what are you doing with Chelsea? Well, I haven't actually sat there and thought about it, and it's not really a terrible idea. Where? What are we doing, Adam? Are you trying to win? Are you trying to win Sally back? Or are you just sitting there using Chelsea as a consolation prize? Because let's be honest, no one wants to be a consolation prize. No one. So, it's just out of pocket with that. Also, Cole made it very clear that he is not afraid of Victor Newman. Okay? He's not. He's not intimidated by him. He don't care what he has to sit there and say. He's going to do what he wants to do, the best interest of him and his family. So, the hell with Victor's threats. I don't approve. I don't give a damn if you approve or not. She approves. I don't need your approval. I just need hers. Who are you? So, I respect that. I respect that. I don't know how it's going to help out in the long game. That's another thing that Victoria Smith is saying. Like, Victoria's like, you don't know. Like, I think the thing with Victoria's, like, Victoria's have seen how he takes care of people in the business world. He crushes them. He demolishes them. Okay? They don't just, the thing is, they don't just call him the great Victor Newman for nothing. Right? He has experience. He doesn't sit there and make rash decisions. He's not impulsive. When he goes into this stuff, he's more cold and calculating. He's not so emotional. He doesn't get frazzled easily. And that's the difference between him and Billy. And she sees that. And she's looking at it like, yo, listen, check your ego. Check that man pride at the door. You're dealing with somebody who is practically a black belt in the business world. You don't want it, bro. Let it go. Let me sit there and try to help you. Let me try to help you for the kids. Can't you sit there and push away your pride for the side? But of course, he's like, no, I'm doing this for the kids. I was like, you're kind of doing this mostly for yourself. Let's just be honest. I get ideally that he does want to, maybe in his own way, he wants to sit there and show that I'll stand up to bullies. I'll stand up to bullies and I will sit there and show them that you can't be afraid of running from your problems. And I respect that. There's a time and a place. You have to know your limits. Let me tell you something, ladies. Men, us, like to generally believe that we don't have any limits. We do, but our drive, our focus, our pride can often get the best of us if we let it. It just is what it is. You can sit there and say it's pigheadedness, stubbornness, whatever. But sometimes that drive, that same pigheaded, that same stubbornness can push us past our limits. So it does have its good points. It's whatever. Now recently they're talking to Phyllis, and I forgot about that. Talking to Phyllis, talking about we got to get Odyssey 7 back. We got to sit there and outbid him. You want to sit there and outbid a guy who has been richer way longer than you've been born. You wanna sweeten the deal. So you wanna go bankrupt, right? What are you gonna do? You gonna sit there and start taking money from the I don't know, Abbott inheritance or whatever? Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna ask Jackie to sit there and give you some money? Like, he does know that that's a fool's errand, right? To sit there and try to outbid him. But his pride, again, won't look at that. Like, that does not make any sense. That's not common sense whatsoever. So, I feel like that's pretty much about it for the most part. If I forgot anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows. Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.